Hello and welcome in Soulpunk TV. I'm super happy for this new episode, this new interview. I have the immense pleasure to have Neven.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for braving the elements.
Yeah,
Coming at
it's
me.
a shit show outside. Can I say shit?
You can say all the
Yeah.
words you want. It's not a
Shit.
family
Yeah.
channel. Neven,
Yes.
I like to start by I'm gonna start all my interview this way now.
Okay.
It's like, how do you usually introduce yourself to mundane people?
To mundane people. I'll just say hi. I'm Neven. Nice to meet you. I don't know. I'm usually very especially when it comes to like magic and journeys and my spiritual journey. I'm very. I don't talk openly about it, which like this is a first. Hi. So, yeah, I don't talk about it unless asked about it. So, yeah.
So you never talk about yourself unless people ask you?
Not like I talk about myself, but not. You said mundane people, so I assume it's people who don't deal with the arts and crafts. So to those people, I can talk freely about anything else apart from that, because we still sadly live in a society where magic is not as openly accepted as we would like it to be. And often when you talk to people about magic, they're like, "Oh, it's just fun, crazy." So yeah.
I know. Yeah. So usually you say hi, I'm Neven, and this is what.
Yeah.
Take it and leave it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty much.
How do you introduce yourself to magical people?
The same way, because I don't want to assert myself too much. Like I need to observe first and see if I would vibe off with somebody, and if I do, then I would openly talk about it. Like kind of like I do with you, actually. Yeah.
Nice, interesting. So very secretive.
Yeah, I mean, like my magical journey is my magical journey, and it's my business, and it's my truth. So yeah,
that's funny because that would have been my next. That's my next question actually.
Oh.
It's like, so in the whole respect of your secret garden, can you share how? I mean, when did you acknowledge that you were a magician?
That was a long time ago, I would say, back when I was young, because in my family, there's people who do the arts and crafts. So from an early age, I discovered that this is a thing and people do it. So yeah, and it was just a journey of self-discovery. I also went through a journey of denial, because at some point when life gets to you, you kind of think about, yeah, this is just fairy tales, it's just things that you help yourself out with, like it's a mental thing. And so I went through that as well, and then I think I was around the age of 21 that I full on got back into it, and yeah. So it's been a turbulent, lifelong journey in a way of ups and downs.
I guess any seeker can relate.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, do you have like big steps in your approach? Like, so you've been immersed since a young age into with people who were doing, I guess, divination maybe.
No, it's more like healing. I like the women in my family are sort of from one side of my family are considered, like in Bulgarian folklore, it's the healing women, like the women you go to when you have pains and aches and troubles and shit. So it's from that. Like my mother actually used to practice a lot, and she helped a lot of people out with issues and disease. Like, we wouldn't say diseases, but like illnesses that they had. So it was from then, and she showed me some of the things that I know, and and then it was after my big break from magic, I came back to it through meditation. Actually, I started meditating, and from then slowly and steadily discovered everything that I know now, and I just built myself up from there.
Wow, amazing, amazing. So do you have strong influences, like, I don't know, authors, books, teachings that change your life or push you?
I would say no, I don't, because throughout my whole life I've been very inquisitive. I like to discover things by myself. So I have read a few things, I've studied the ancient religions and like certain philosophies, but for me it's always been about discovering things through myself and not through somebody else's truth, because I think that everyone has a journey that is for them to follow themselves, and yeah, you just meet people or find information that will help you through your journey. But so everything you do is you do yourself. So I wouldn't say that I have huge influences. And in a very narcissistic way, I would say that I'm my huge influence to, yeah, to go through the magic arts. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like this is somewhere eventually where every magicians go. It's like eventually you become to sense a sense of intuition that you tapped to the universe directly.
Yeah.
Is that something you?
Definitely, yeah. It's
Yes.
like, yeah, I have a relationship with the universe, and we talk. We're friends. We're buddies. So,
That's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, so yeah, so now because you had so many, you learn from everyone and everything. By the way, I really like we're gonna say it like the way we met.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
It
if
is,
you want to say it.
Yeah, so pretty much we are colleagues. We work in the same company, and accidentally, or maybe not, because nothing in life is an accident. I was assigned to be his mentor, so it's pretty much the person to help him get his way through the company and stuff. So that's where we hit off. But at that point, I didn't know that he was dealing with the arts. And then another colleague of mine told me actually, hey, Damien does this and this. I'm like, oh, I should talk to him about it. So yeah, now we're here. Started from the bottom. Yeah.
And I like it. And the first time we met, we had such an amazing conversation. And I got this intuition of what you could teach me, which is what we're gonna talk about soon.
Yeah.
How would you label and define what you do now in terms of magic?
Many things. I would like to, I mainly focus on meditation and spiritual journeys and traveling throughout the cosmos and meeting interesting creatures and stuff. But also, like all the magic that I do, I like to think is good magic, helpful magic, and helpful to others and me as well. It's about just guiding myself and others through their journeys, I would say. And also something that is a very big part of my life is the thing that we're going to talk about, and it's wish magic. And it's more commonly known as manifestation, but I don't like the name manifestation, so I call it wish magic. So yeah, this is, yeah, it's just like manifestation sounds in a way that that you're using magic as a tool, and I don't believe in that. I think magic is not your tool and it's not your master. It is a friend and a companion to go through in life. So, yeah, that's why I call it wish magic.
I think this is fascinating. The moment you say that word wish magic, the first time we met, I was like, this is so fucking cute.
It is cute.
It is cute.
Yeah. Well, that's how I like to think about stuff. Like language, as most of you who deal in the arts probably know language, and the words you use are very important. So, if you refer to something in a way with a name that is kind, that is nice, and it helps you out with it. And to me, manifestation sounds like something out of the Third Reich and the Second World War.
Manifestation, right?
Manifestation, magic. Yeah, it's like you're commanding, and you're not commanding. You're asking nicely for stuff, and you get it. So.
I like. You may not be familiar with that, but I know that a lot of my subscribers are like with the reality transurfing with Vadim Zeland. Mm-hmm. And it gives this idea that the more importance you put in the law of attraction and manifestation, the more you create the obstacles that will prevent it to appear.
Definitely, yeah.
And I love that wish magic dissolves that into such a niceness.
Yeah.
It's like
it's like wish magic is your little friend that gets you the stuff that you need and you want, and it helps you in life, and it's cute, and yeah, that's how I like to think about it.
That is really good. I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions about it.
Please do. Yeah, I'm willing to talk about it. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, I like this approach that one of my main recurring messages is that magic is not real, and it can change your life. Like, because if you release this sense of importance that you absolutely want magic to be real, you will never have any results because it has to be playful. Yeah. That's at least my experience.
Yeah, that is a true thing. Yeah.
And so my question would be like, for someone who is just starting with spirituality, magic meditation, or someone is just doubting a lot and is like preventing themselves to experiment because they think that it might not be real. Yeah. How would you think that wish magic could help them?
In terms of doubting if it's real, oftentimes we think that stuff is just in our head, and like someone said in Harry Potter, which is one of my favorite books, just because it's in your head, it doesn't mean that it's not real. So it's just about believing. It's like any other religion, I would say. It's just about believing and the power of your will. So if you are doubting it and you're willing to start and want to explore and go on this journey, I would say start small. Don't start very ambitious and just go through, take the baby steps through it and feel your way through it. It's very important to trust your intuition. So, yeah. And no one climbed Everest in one day, as they say, so just...
So you're talking about like building a sense of confidence in the magic you can ask the universe.
Yeah, it's really about it's like everyone's magical journey is before all else a journey of self-discovery. So you discover yourself throughout magic and vice versa. So it is important to just give it time, be patient, and try out things that would seem easy at first, or like something that you wouldn't even need magic for, but just try it and explore and trust yourself with it.
Interesting. Interesting. There is this idea that my dirty secret is that when I say magic is not real, is to release the sense of importance. It's like whenever I read the cards as well, I say this is just cardboard, relax, and then the true magic happens. So that's why I say it helps you build this confidence and interaction. I have a question which is kind of the opposite now. Like people like me, for example, who've been doing magic extensively for a long period of years, and I'm in this weird situation now where I just let the universe do its things. I don't even communicate with it anymore. I just listen to it and I just say, because do you have 100% results in your wish magic? Do you always have exactly what you want all the time?
I'm going to confidently say yes, but it is a matter of time also, because it really depends on what you wish for and how easily it can be achieved. I've actually had discussions with a few of my magical friends about it. Like, you can wish for something small and you can achieve it in a few days. But if you wish for something that is very grand, like for example, if you wish for I don't know, $1 million, it's not gonna, it's like a suitcase is not gonna fall on your head with $1 million. It's like big things require time from the universe to deliver to you.
Why would so?
Because it's a matter of finding the right path to you and seeing. I don't know. I explain it to myself as if it's like you're ordering something from Amazon. I don't know, if you order something big, like if you order something from China, it's going to take a few months to come in. If you order something from the UK, well, not now with Brexit, but if you order something from Germany, it's gonna take like close to a week.
I very much like this analogy because it makes me think of all those different timelines. And the farther it is from your current states and timelines, the more it requires for you to calibrate and receive it.
Yeah, and the thing about like wishing and wish magic and manifestation, it's really, you need to consider that in my opinion, that if you're wishing for something grand, it's not gonna always come in the way that you expect it to come.
Oh yeah.
It's not like, I'm gonna give you an example again with wishing for $1 million. If you wish for $1 million, you're not gonna find them on the street. But well, if that has been written in the stars for you, you will do it. Yes, you will find it. But for most people, it's more like the universe will find a way to guide you by your intuition and through signs in life and people and etc. to guide you to a way where you can earn it for yourself, or find it, or discover it. I don't know. Yeah, it's not like I cannot talk with certainty about like the way the universe functions when it comes to an individual, because no one can tell you for certain how it works. It's like you trust it blindly, and just wanted to deliver stuff to you. I don't know.
It requires a lot of courage to be that humble and say I'm diving in anyway.
Yeah. Also, like something that is very important to me in practicing any sort of magic is the emotion that you put into it. If you want to order it around or boss it around, it's not gonna always work out for you. It just needs to be, everything needs to be approached with like a peace of mind and a balance within yourself, and knowing also if the things that you wish for are realistic, or realistic for you in your lifetime. Because you cannot wish to, like, as far as I know, you cannot wish to wake up, for example, to wake up a woman, or to wake up a dog, or something. Like, you go to sleep and you wake up and you're a dog.
All right.
So yeah, it's like it doesn't.
You haven't experienced
Yeah.
shape shifting, or you haven't experienced that?
Through meditation I have, but I'm talking about in a literal sense, because when people think about like manifestation and wish magic, it's usually also I may go off track a bit, but like to just for the people who are not extremely familiar with wish magic and manifestation, because it's something that's a bit out there. It actually is a thing that is sort of rooted into modern society in a way. Like for example, with wishing upon a star, when people wish on stars, that is in a way that is definitely wish magic. Another one is wishing for something on your birthday, or there's like different traditions that every culture has. Like for example, I think there's the tradition with the wishbone. Do you know the wishbone?
No.
It's like this bone of an animal or a chicken or a fish. There's this weird shaped bone, like and two people.
And you break it.
Two people break it, and whoever gets the bigger part gets to have a wish.
Okay.
So it's like wish magic and manifestation is rooted into our society. It's just that like the way that I practice it and the way that people around me practice it and magical people practice it is getting it out of the tradition and sort of using it in a more day-to-day life. Like you don't necessarily need a star to do wish magic or a wishbone. You just need yourself and your ability and the power of your will to do wish magic. And I forgot what we were talking about.
No, don't worry. It sparks a lot of questions actually.
Yeah.
Because this is true that those wish ceremony rituals are in all societies and are like we call them superstitions, because deep down we know that they don't work. So what's the difference? I mean, I blow into candles during my birthday, during stuff like this. Right? It's like deep down and it's not gonna work, but I might as well wish it. Where's the difference?
I think the difference is the point of view and the individual. Like if you go through life being a complete skeptic when it comes to magic and the spiritual arts, that is your journey. That is for you. I often like to say that magic is not for everyone, in a sense that not everyone is as developed, I would say, in a spiritual way and in a mental way to deal with magic or to comprehend magic. I have people that are very close to me who are very successful in life and have achieved a lot, and they're agnostic or atheist, or they don't practice and they don't believe. So it's really that's why I like to say that it's an individual thing, and it's about your perspective and your point of view. If you blow candles without really making a wish, that's your problem.
I like it. Yeah. So no, you don't use ritualistic implement that much now. How does it work?
I used to do it when I was back when I was early on in my development in a way, but I think like magic and all magic is kind of like riding a bicycle. You just get better and better at it, and it's getting more effortless as in everything else that you practice, be it playing the piano or singing or anything. It just at first it requires some more ritualism. I think the ritualistic aspect of magic is a means to people to get in the zone, sort of get in the energy, be it with scented, scented, how are those called? Scented sticks? Incense sticks, or candles, or just drawing something, like drawing a circle on the floor, or just chanting, or it's just a way to get yourself in the zone, and with time it sort of becomes. It's still good to do it because it shows effort. In all magic, you need to give in order to receive. So with time you may skip some of the elements of it, like the more ritualistic elements, and just make it into something more personal or something that happens in your thoughts and in your mind.
But I like what you said in the beginning. Is you said that you consider the universe to be your friend, to which you wish. And I like to think that, and this is actually how I've been doing my last rituals myself. It's like I know that the connection with the cosmos is there, but I'm just setting up something as a mean of gratitude. So definitely. It's like I make something nice for me, like nice colors, nice candles. I make like a little performance, a little dance. To say my gratitude for the universe.
And I think most of us have those ways of communicating with the universe. And by universe, we mean like the whatever higher power you believe in. So the universe could be Mother Nature, the universe can be the moon if you believe in the moon, it could be like the giant spaghetti monster in the sky. So
True, yeah. There is something very smart that you said as well. It's you have 100% success because you know what to wish for.
Yeah,
that's what I understood at least.
Yeah, that is the way to go at it. You have to try it out at first. I mean, when you're learning about it and when you're learning how to use it, you are gonna have like stupid stuff you wish for.
Of course.
Like everyone does that because at some point we all wish that like real life magic was like in Harry Potter or whatever, that you just pull out a wand and make fire happen. But you know, like in the world and the universe and the plane of existence that we live in, that's fantasy. But there is a lot in magic that is true and that works for people. So yeah.
So there is a part of like scientific experiment almost. It looks to be like
you have to test it out.
Caliber,
You cannot start playing Mozart right away when you start playing a piano. So you test it out. You see what works for you.
So your advice, for example, for someone who wants to reconnect with magic or start magic would be try everything and don't be disappointed if it doesn't work?
If you want to start with magic, try small. If you want to reconnect with magic, remember what worked for you in the past and try to build from that up.
But then I have a question. What is small? Because I mean, I did a lot of magic and some crazy stuff happened and some small things did not. Yeah. So what is small?
I actually spoke with a dear friend of mine. That was a conversation that I had a few years back, but she just put it in a very nice way. Like, if you want to start with wish magic or manifestation, wish to find a penny on the street and see how long it takes you to find a penny on the street. And that's how you can measure, like, your progress. And with something as stupid as finding a penny on the street, because they're all around us, but, like, the possibility, thinking about it, the possibility of you finding a penny on the street is still relatively small. So if you wish for something as little as that, or just wish for the flower that's in your living room that's been dying, wish for it to stop dying and to actually be healthy. That's how I saved my Christmas tree, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because we bought I don't believe in cutting trees or buying fake trees, so we buy like a planted Christmas tree. So we grow it for. Yeah, it's still with us, but it's like we removed the decoration, but it was dying, the poor thing, and I wished for it to not die, and now it's actually sprouting and growing. So. Yeah, it's stuff like that.
Interesting. Let's go into specific now. It's like, what if I decide to wish? Okay, first, no, I have two questions.
Yeah.
First, it's part of the human experience to have a shit ton of desires all the time, and I gladly accepted the fact that I will never be fulfilled from my desires. Because I know that I will always desire something new.
Yeah, that is the human nature. That is the consumerist nature of
Absolutely.
Humans in a way. Yeah.
So from now on, how can I sort out from all the crazy desires I have, how can I say this one is worthy of a wish and might be realized? What are the guidelines or the sorting process?
What I use is like, because I totally understand what you mean, because especially when you practice, it's like you get all sorts of weird ideas every single day, and you have a lot of ambitions and you have a lot of stuff that you want to do, but think about it realistically. Where do you want to go in life? What is your goals and what are your objectives in a way? Because I do try to believe that every person who practices in a way has some goal, be it vague or very specific, of where they want to go in their life. So pick up the wishes and the ambitions that will help you towards that goal and just go with that. And don't do stuff that is very contradictory to your nature and to you specifically as a human being. That would be my advice.
And then, once that you pick up all of the desires, you do this pre-work of it's what I want, it's in my vibe, it's in my soul journey sector, as you say in the transfer thing. I pick it up, I make the wish, from which I may ask some question about the specific of maybe. And now the wish has been spoken.
Yeah.
How can you prevent being on the outlook? You know, like on the expectation. Is it there? Is it there yet?
That is actually really funny, because today I thought about it, like when I thought about having this interview with you, and I realized that a lot of time I get wishes fulfilled that I forgot that I wished for.
It is.
So it really is that.
It is a very common experience in chaos magic and magic in general. It's like there is this sense of idea you have to completely release to the point of forgetting. But
that is. They also like psychologists also say that for wishing to find love. Like if you're single and you're sad and you want to find love and you really really want to, and you picture it in your mind as this huge obstacle, as you said earlier, like this huge mountain that you have to climb, then it's of course it's gonna be very hard for you. It's really everything is about your state of mind. If you're a peaceful person, if you're a patient person, then you will just receive stuff. Almost you would feel, for me at times it has felt almost effortless to get stuff that I want. For example, I had this like the latest wish of mine that got fulfilled last week. I thought about this friend of mine that we had a really nice connection, and then we sort of got into a fight and fell apart, and that was a few years ago. So last week I thought it would be really nice to reconnect with this person, and incidentally enough, yesterday that person messaged me and we sorted out the differences that we had, and now we're slowly on the way of having a friendship again. So it is that it is you don't have to put the obstacles in your mind, because we've spoken about this, you and me, but I do believe in my personal holy trinity is your body, your mind, and your soul, or spirit, or however you like to call it, and all of those need to be in balance and in unison for you to be able to practice successfully, be it any sort of magic, I think. So if something is not okay, like most oftenly with people, doubt and shame, or in being uncertain, are emotions that really negatively affect your magic and your magical journey. You have to be in sort of like this exercise that they do in school, where you have to fall back and someone else catches you. So that has to be, in a way, your relationship with magic. That's what I believe in. So you need to trust that the things that you ask for will be delivered to you, and you need to give the universe time to figure out how to deliver them to you.
What I really like talking with you specifically is that there is the communication on the vocal and auditory level.
Yeah.
And there is the communication with the energy.
Yeah.
And I understand stuff you don't say explicitly.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you feedback, and you tell me if that rings true.
Okay, yeah.
From what I understand of what you say, it's like, because my question originally was how to forget of your wish, how to release your wish. And because you will emphasize on this idea of the Trinity, the soul, the mind, and the body, would that be that the answer would be to be aligned, in the sense that if you have a great time anyway, being aligned and being in the body you like to be, you're in a clear state of mind, then you won't need that much to have your wish resolved.
Yeah.
And because you feel good, then it will happen.
Yeah.
Is it what you?
Yeah, definitely. It's certainly a way to put it.
So there is a strong importance of taking care of your body in a physical way.
Yeah.
Like
taking care of yourself in any way possible.
Self-care is the most powerful kind of.
You cannot do successful magic if you're physically or mentally exhausted, or spiritually exhausted, or if you don't know how to channel your energy properly, if you waste a lot of energy, because oftentimes like people who practice know, when you get into the zone of doing a spell or a ritual or meditation, you can very easily exhaust yourself in a way that you can feel. I have had situations where I have done like a spell or something that I really wanted to happen, and it took up so much of my energy and so much of my like sort of the mana pool, if you want to call it, like for those of you who play games, that I wasn't able to do anything magically related for months. So it really is. But then and that is when I actually realized that the importance you put on things is crucial. Like if you look at something, if you look at a wish, if we're talking about wish magic, if you look at a wish for something that you think you would need a lot of luck and a lot of effort to achieve, it's not gonna happen. It's gonna be. It can still happen. Like for me, for example, after I was exhausted for months on end, but the effort that I put into it and the importance that I gave it, it still got. I still got what I wanted, but after that, I was spiritually exhausted for a long time.
Wow.
So yeah, but if you go through it with say just this peace of mind and knowing and trusting your higher power, it's gonna be much easier for you.
It's fascinating because I can see how magic can be also, in a very weird way, approached as a way for someone to reconnect with self-care, self-love, self-discipline. In a way, I was like, this is my hobby, and I need to be in shape, and I need to be strong and clear in order to practice this.
But that is also something that you see in many religions and philosophical teachings, like the my body is my temple. That's the sort
absolutely.
of every spiritual belief teaches you that you need to take care of yourself.
There
first.
is in every major religion in their origin, there was an emphasis on fasting as well.
Yeah.
From Christianity,
And
Islam, Buddhism.
that is in a way preparing your body. Like,
of course.
I know that you and me are vegetarians in life, so that you see, for me personally, I see the difference. Like when I used to eat meat, I wouldn't feel that much of a spiritual connection. It's like I think it's mostly just the energies of what you consume sort of affect you and affect your abilities. But going, we have a guest.
Yeah,
it's
a little fairy just passed by.
Yeah, it's one of those smelly things that like,
smelly fairy.
The smelly fairies. Yeah, so I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, well.
It's like my mind and my spirit flows.
I feel it as well. Yes, I try to get connected with that.
You have to reconnect me to what we're talking about.
But the importance on taking care of your body.
Yeah.
I feel it because I know that I would love to put much more discipline on myself. For example, I know. Let's continue. How would you deal? No, but you say you have 100% success rate. Consider beginner magicians who do wish magic and say, okay, that didn't work, failure. What are the words this magician has to say themselves?
I think that should go back to what we spoke about earlier, just knowing your path and knowing your direction and seeing, like, realistically for me, I know when I have to wish for something when it feels correct on many levels. Right. It feels correct on my journey as a person, it feels correct on the journey of my spirit and my soul. So that is the point where you say, okay, this is something that I can achieve or something that I can help myself with. Okay. So if you have chosen a path for yourself and all of a sudden you wish for something that is very contrary to the journey that you're having, yes, it can still happen, but it will be difficult. It will be more difficult, certainly.
So I asked you how to approach magic from the perspective of someone who just starts or is adopting, or like still in the materialistic mindset.
Yeah.
I want to go to the extreme opposite, which is my case actually, and I think this is the reason why we met.
Yeah.
We talked about that already.
Yeah.
It's like, because we said that magic can only flow if you're aligned and if you're in state of relaxation, technically, feeling good. Yeah. Because I have this ego personality structure where I'm kind of all or nothing most of the time.
And that is not, like, for the kids out there, that is not a good way to approach.
I know, I'm learning, everybody's learning. Yeah. And my approach right now is that I'm in situations like, okay, life, I made a lot of rituals, a lot of wish, a lot of intention. You gave me some you didn't give me. I don't know why. I did my research, can't figure it out. From now on, I'm just going to stay in my breath, and what happens, whatever will happens, and I can accept the fact that I will always desire and be frustrated, and I just basically stop wishing for anything because apparently life has greater plans for me.
Yeah, but that is...
And I know I'm not the only one to live that way. How would you say to people who are basically, I wouldn't say give up, but release themselves to the current of the universe?
Well, I try to, I symbolize that in my head. If, like, you are down a river that is flowing and you have a boat and you're just floating to some direction, whatever it may be. But that is not the point of life. Like, in general in life, you wouldn't go through life without fighting or without putting any effort to things. Like, it is like, I make a lot of analogies with magic and stuff that happens in everyday life, because for someone, I think you would agree too, for someone who practices and has practiced for a long time, magic is not a novelty. It's a part of your life in the same way like you eat, you shit, you cast spells, you have sex. We can say sex, right?
Yes, you can.
So you do all of that, and magic also becomes something sort of ordinary in your life. It's like it is the novelty factor of it goes away for a bit, and I think that is the way why that is one reason why a lot of people give up on it, because it's sort of at some point this really cool thing that you started doing that is very secretive and fantastic and stuff, it doesn't feel that much special to you anymore. And I've had situations like this myself also. Like I told you earlier that I went through a big part of my teenage years. I went without any magic. I was an atheist, like, oh, stuff like this doesn't exist, blah blah. And then I rediscovered it myself again, and I think that is also, I like to interpret it as a test from the higher power or from the universe or from the spaghetti monster. It's like you, it tests you, like it tests your determination, it tests your willingness to proceed with this commitment in a way. So yeah, I would say to the people who feel really lost or who have given up on their magic to give it time, because sometimes it's also about healing. Sometimes maybe you may have exhausted yourself one way or another, be it mentally or spiritually. So you need some time to reflect and to still try to discover yourself through other means as well. It could also be a sign that I know that for a lot of magicians at some point they also go through this. It's a sign that yes, magic is a really helpful tool in your life, but it is definitely not the only thing that you should rely on when you go through life. You cannot just be casting spells left or right, hoping and wishing for stuff. I mean, as cool as wish magic is, even I, who have practiced it for a long time, don't rely on it for absolutely everything. Like, there's stuff that you can achieve on your own through your own being, and magic is that friend who helps you out, and it's a friend and companion. But if you go and abuse this friend and companion and start asking it for everything and for everyday stuff and for stupid things, it's gonna retaliate every now and then. So there are many possibilities as to why a person, or you in this case, is having this break. It could be healing, it could be that you need to get back on the good side of magic and the higher power. It could be that you need some time in your life to realize that you yourself are capable of a lot of things, and you don't necessarily always need magic to achieve stuff. So it could be a lot of things, but you have to, if I were you in this case, I would just meditate on it. I would try to find the answers through some me time, through some meditation, spiritual traveling, one or two out of body experiences, and get back in touch with yourself and get back in touch with your inner spirit and the eternal being that lives inside this mundane carcass in a way. Yeah.
Amazing, that's a beautiful reply. Thank you so much. It really helps me understand this. I like how you put it. It's like, and I feel it is a healing. I feel it's a reconfiguration for myself. But I like the fact that you say that, magic is your friend. It's your friend. You wish. So shall we go a little bit more in details? If like, how can I start to have this friendly relationship with the universe now? Like how would you advise someone to start doing wish magic? What would be the words or the communication with the universe?
I think it's just ask nicely. Like, think about going to your mom and asking for €5 or something. Think of it like you're asking a friend for a favor. When I started through my meditation and the first really spiritual experiences that I had, I was fucking terrified of the universe, because it's this like vast, incredibly huge, infinite, some people believe, some people don't, but an infinite space that is filled with these planets and stars that are all powerful and charged with energies, and it's this huge, and it's almost like the depth of the ocean. A lot of people are afraid of the ocean and the secrets that it hides.
Thalassophobia.
And it's and it's the same thing with the universe. Like, when you think about like, we are just this one miniature insignificant dot in the vast space. it is scary, but it is like, as with any relationship with a person or an entity or a being, you just have to get to know it, and you see that it is like the higher power that you believe in can be kind, it can be not so kind, it can be bad at times. It really depends on how you conceive it and how you perceive it to be. So, yeah.
So from what I understand, once again, there's what you say and what is transmitted in terms of vibration.
Yeah.
But I would be fascinated if people who are watching the video, maybe they feel that you're transmitting as well this presence. And
that would be interesting, yeah.
Yeah, that would be because I feel it. Once again, so I just lost my mind, but what you say is
I do too, like losing my mind is such a
because
normal day-to-day thing.
When
you're in the flow and when you, it happens.
But so, for example, if I would, so first, I would say step one, stop considering magic as being like manifestation, invasion. So move away from it.
Don't give it bad words. Don't give it scary words. Just give it words that are familiar to you. Like you can call it mom magic, or you can call it my cat magic, or you can call it, I don't know, Sheila magic, whatever. Just give it a name that you resonate with, and give it a name that sounds kind, and just treat it with kindness and respect.
What I understand, so what I wanted to say is coming back from the vibration you transmitted, it's like the way most people do magic is demanding.
Yeah.
And the way that in the other extreme, where I am right now and other mystics are, is just listening.
Yeah.
And I think that if you want to have a friend, well, you need to have this back and forth.
Yeah, you need to have this banter with the friend. It's not like no relationship should be one-sided. Like you cannot be always the giver or always the receiver. There needs to be balance.
So I can understand now, and this is what I will experiment with, like having like those seances of meditation, because it's actually how I do it. Like when I meditate, I speak with my guides and my angels.
Yeah, me too.
But I could consider doing tapping directly, communicating with the source as a friend, and say, hey, I would very much to have this. If it's not possible, please tell me, maybe.
Yeah, there is also, like, when you said, if it's not possible, please tell me, that also sometimes when you wish for something too outrageous, you will very easily see a sign from the universe. If you are sensitive to that sort of things, you will see a sign that this is not for you. I've had it many times, like back in the days where I was dabbling into tarot. Like I would just meditate and wish for stuff, and at this one point I pulled out a card that was like, literally it was a sign from the universe saying no, stop. Like stop immediately, no. And you just have to be sensitive and free enough to catch those signals and those messages, because if you're not observant, and that sort of in a way contradicts with the idea of just letting it happen, not concentrating on it, but it's still about like subconsciously reading signs. It's like wish magic is not like I want this and then it happens. It's sort of a long process, because if you want something, you think about it often. You just manifest it in your mind, and you develop it also. Like you give it details. How do I want to receive this specific thing, and etc. So by just sort of reinforcing the wish, you help yourself out. And when you stop thinking about it, when you stop doing it, it often means, like for me personally, it means that I have sent my message to the universe, and it knows my request and what it is, and if I'm a good boy, I will receive. So
what if you're a good boy? Like, aren't you worthy enough to receive what you want? What is this?
It's not about being worthy. It's about like sort of, it makes me sound like I'm a bitch of the universe. It's not that. It's just like it's not. I've never approached magic in a demanding way. I've never approached it in like ordering or giving orders and just being mean. It's like it's in a way just a respectful relationship with your higher power. It's it's not a deserving is kind of it's kind of misleading, but just being a good boy means like doing things properly and just being respectful, and being also respectful to yourself and to people around you. Like if you're generally a mean-spirited person or an asshole, you probably have a connection to magic that is different than what I experience, but then that's why I like to say that everyone's journey is purely individual. Whatever works for me will not work necessarily for you 100%. That is why it's good to just approach magic and approach your magical journey in a huge way through intuition and through knowing yourself, because you can figure out what works for you, what aspects of magic work for you, what you're naturally gifted at, and what are the things that you really need to put effort into to achieve. It's very individual in a way.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I think we're getting there. It's like very very nice.
It's sparking a good discussion and also a good spiritual discussion on many levels.
Oh yeah. Do you want to add something more maybe that I didn't address on Wish Magic? Something that you think is important? Or?
Yeah, I want to reiterate on patience and just being, like for the universe, time is meaningless. So if you like, time is a relative thing. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Like the entire human lifetime is a flicker of a millisecond in the journey of of the universe in a way. So if it takes time, it doesn't necessarily mean that it won't happen. You just have to just be patient with it, and it really depends on how difficult the thing that you wish for would be to obtain. So don't give up on it just because it's not working right away. And it's the same with actually with people. Like if you have someone that you really want to impress and you want to be friends with, you don't force it. And the same way that they say you don't force a fart because it's gonna come out as shit. So it's that. It's just patience and understanding of the way that you as an individual work and the way that your magic works. And it really is about knowing yourself and being at peace with yourself and being okay with yourself. And also like through practice. It's some people are naturally gifted at stuff, but if you really want to do something that you're not gifted at, like not gifted doesn't mean that you cannot do it. It just means that it's going to take you more time. Because you know how vast and different magic is, and there's like many different sources of magic. There's many different it's really up to the person to see what works for them. So yeah. Also another thing that I want to mention about wish magic is like you don't necessarily have to wish for physical material things. You can wish for a good friend. You can wish for meeting someone who will understand you in a way that no one else understood you throughout your life. You could wish to meet someone with whom you can be absolutely 100% yourself, regardless of how weird you may seem to the outside world. To me, I have found that it works really nice if I wish for things that are related to people. But that is because I have a very good sense of human energy, like the energies of people around me. So it's good. It really works really nice for me if I wish for something that is related to other people. Like if I want to have a specific thing with someone, or if I want something to happen involving a few people, like that is very easy for me to do. And I have also like if you're looking for a job, you can also like wish to get a job that you would be happy at, like the job that we have now. I, for example, wished for it and I got it. So it is that you can wish for everything. And just know that if your ambitions are way too grand and way too out there, it may take a lot of time. Like you can, I've had friends telling me that they have had to wait for 7 or 8 years for something to happen. So it really depends on what you wish for and how easy it would be. I like to think of it about like how easy it would be for you to achieve it without magic.
Absolutely, yeah.
So with magic, it will shorten the time that you have to wait for something. But still, if you want to achieve something that would take you 50 years in your lifetime, you cannot expect to wish for it and get it in 3 days or 2 weeks. Yeah.
But there's something that says like start small. And personally, what I did in the past is like I started to do self-development work. Healing my traumas, healing myself, like being more at ease with people, like very very simple stuff. And I'm thinking, for example, you can use wish magic in order to learn wish magic.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
So I have an idea now. Would you recommend kind of a ritual or something very like specific right here, right now? Someone's watching the video, turn off the video and say, I'm going to do this ritual right here, right now.
Okay, yeah. So don't turn it off because you need to learn what the ritual is. So I would say get in a quiet place that is just for you. Like if you live with many people, just find the quietest room or find a place within your house, your wherever you live in. It could be under a bridge, but still. Just find the most peaceful place around you and concentrate on yourself and try to reach out. Try to reach a state of calmness and just relaxation, and meditate on the things that you want to achieve in your life, or or you can, if you want to just try it for the first time, just get into that mind state and wish for something that would seem really simple. You could do the thing with the wish to find a penny on the street. You could wish to find a really nice fat cat outside that likes to cuddle with people, and just like innocent and easy things that wouldn't require any effort normally in your life. Just try it with that. And if you want to, if you are already practicing and want to try something a bit more challenging, just think about one of your ambitions in life and meditate on a way of how it can be more easy for you to achieve. And you don't have to, there aren't any specific words that you have to say. Like you can speak it out loud if you want to. You can write a poem about it, or write a chant or like a spell in whatever language you can speak. Or it's just try to find your own comfortable spot within that area of communicating with the universe and making a wish. And just you can say the wish in your mind. You can, if you're surrounded by people, or you can say it out loud. And if you want, you can make a little offering, like incense stick, or light a candle, or pick up a few flowers, but now it's winter, so I don't think there are many flowers. Or pick up like a bunch of snow, or make a little snowman, or just anything that you feel. It's really about intuition. Anything that you would feel would help out in this endeavor, go for it. So yeah.
Nice.
That is.
Thank you. Great. Well, that's it. We're gonna close the interview. So if you have any question to ask Neven about, because you don't have an active social media presence on this topic.
No, like as I said, my journey is my journey, and then this is actually the first time that I'm openly speaking about it.
I feel very grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. But I feel also grateful to myself, because this was a challenge to me. Like, would I be comfortable speaking about this? And it turns out I am. So yeah, if you want more, for some reason, if you want more of me and us, like, just let him know and we can do another one of this. Or if you want to talk about any other magical topic, just go for it. Yeah, don't look for me on social media. I'm probably not going to respond to that. Yeah.
If you want more Neven, subscribe and comment.
Pretty much.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna close it. Thank you very much. A very last word, maybe.
Peace.
Peace and love. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye bye.